Hey guys, welcome back. So guys, in this video we are going to learn with the login system in Firebase PHP. So guys, now as we saw in previous video, we have created with the registration form of the user in our Firebase authentication, and now we are going to log in with this authentication, whatever data we have stored over here inside registration of authentication. So guys, now let's get started. So first let's click on this login and create one login page. Let's go to our editor. Let's close all the file and let's create login.php file and let's include the form. So let me copy this from this registration form and paste inside our login page and remove which we don't require. So let's use this login, and I don't need this first name and phone number. I just required email and the password, as simple. And now let's change this button name to login button and this to login. Save. And so guys, now let's see the output. Let's come here, refresh. Cool. So this is our login form, guys. And now let's start the code to login. So first create one file called login code.php. So copy this and create one basic file of .php, login code.php. Open PHP, close PHP, cssion underscore start, include your database. So dbcon.php file, which is over here. Okay. And now use the if condition to check the button is set or not. So $_post method where login underscore button. So let me just copy this from here and paste over here. Okay. So if it is clicked means you have to come, else you need to go back again. Header with location colon login.php file. Okay, you can tell is equal to not allowed exit function. Done. And now guys, we are going to fetch the variable, input. So let's copy this input and password. Let's create a variable called email. Email is equal to $_post method of your email, and same with copy paste. This will be your password and your input password. Done. And now let's go to our Firebase. First we are going to check email, so whether email exists or not inside this authentication of Firebase. So let's go and let's click on user management, guys, first, and get information about specific user. So this is the code. Let's copy this and paste over here. Let's remove this some user ID we do not require. We do not require phone number also. We need just an email ID, and if the email ID is wrong, you are going to show the message as invalid email address. Go back again to login page. Simple. Let's save. If it is correct, it will come inside this. So let's remove this, copy this $email and double quotes and paste inside this. Done. And now guys, we need to get back to documentation and click on authentication. So first we will create a login. Okay, so custom authentication flow where you can see sign in with email and password. Let's click on it. So let's copy this, copy and paste. So this is the email. So this variable comes email and this is a clear text password. So let's copy this variable and place over here password, nothing else. Okay, so whatever, if email ID is wrong, we are checking over here. In case password is wrong, what at that time? So let's use one more try catch, try. Let's move this inside and give this catch, and inside this we are going to call the exception, and then you can view the message. As simple, let us copy this only. Oops. Copy and paste, tell invalid or wrong password. Done. Now let's get over here. So after signing in, you are getting in a sign in result. So what one thing we need, that is token or anything which we require to test that the user has signed in or not. So guys, now let's get back and go to your verify a Firebase ID token. So let's click on this and let's see below. So you can see this, how it is verifying with the ID token string. So once you logged in, that time what you are going to get, ID token over here. So that shows over here custom authentication flow. It's over here. So sign in result, if it is signing, you are getting a ID token. Let's take this ID token and keep. Once it is done, let's create ID token is equal to, it's stored over here. Now let's get back to verify this ID token. Let's click on verify, and over here this code. So let's copy this and paste. So guys, to verify this ID token, you need to pass this inside this. Okay, so let's cut and paste over here. As simple, let's remove this, and this ID token will be sent in verify ID function. Simple. And when it is evaluated, then it will come here, or else it will tell token is invalid once it is expired or something goes wrong. And now let's create a session over here. So $_session, we will tell this as ID token. We will copy the same variable name, ID token string is equal to, we are going to store this ID token only. So let's store this ID token. Why we are storing this into a session? There is a reason for authentication thing, so we are storing this. So let's store the user ID details also, because we require that. So let's create one more, like verified user underscore ID. So how are you going to check that it's verified, the user ID also? So let me just show you in the doc. So over here you can see, if you are using this 4.0, you can get the user ID by this method, or else you can follow within here also Firebase user ID. Okay, so both anyone can use. So let me copy this with this. So let me copy and paste over here. So let's paste that. So this gives your user ID. So let's copy and share that user ID over here, and it will store in a session. So if you're using session, guys, make sure session is started at the top, and after this you need to move back to the page. So let me copy this code and paste here. Logged in successfully, as simple, and go back to home.php page. So let's go and create one file called home.php, and let's include the classes, files, home.php, and the footer. Let's copy this, add footer, create one simple container, row, column md12, and inside this with h2 tag mention home page, and a simple way to view the message. So let's copy from our registration page. Let's copy this and go back to home page. So this is one way to show the message. So if you're using session should be started at this page. So guys, now let's get back to login page, and you can see its code is done. And now let's try to log in, guys. So let's come over here, refresh, and now let's try to log in with @gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 login. Cool. So we have logged in successfully, but the message did not show. Why? Let me just check out. Session is started. Okay, we did not set the session over here, so that's the mistake. Session of status. Here also you need to set that status. Let's copy this, paste all the status, guys. So one thing we missed out, so let's save. And yep, guys, so we are logged in, a session is started, right? So we need a logout button. So let's create one logout page first. Create one logout.php file. Open PHP, close PHP, session underscore start function, and then unset function to unset that variables, session variable. So let's copy this, called verified user ID, unset that, and the another one which is ID string. Let's unset. After unsetting, we need to show the message. So $_session of status, you're going to is equal to, we'll tell logged out successfully. Okay, and header location, let's copy header location to where login.php. if he is logged out successfully, means as simple. And now let's go to a navbar and include that logout button. So let's copy and paste over here. Let's make this logout, log out, that will be logout.php file. Let's save and refresh, guys. So you can see the logout button. Let's click to logout. You can see logged out successfully and you are in login page. So refresh. I'm going to give a wrong email ID with prakash@gmail.com, so with a random password. Let's click login. You can see invalid email address. Cool. So let's give the correct email ID. Let's copy this and give the wrong password. So I'm going to give wrong password. Click login. You can see wrong password. Perfect. So let's set again and give correct password 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's click on login. You can see that logged in successfully. Perfect. So guys, now let's just set this. If it is logged in, this register and login should not see, and only logout should be seen. So for that, let's move to a navbar. If, let's open PHP, if is set function, close PHP. So let's go to login code. This user ID is set. Okay, when it is set, then you are going to tell show else, please show logout, and if semicolon, save. As simple, guys. Let us save, and now let us see what happens over here. Refresh. Okay, I just made opposite. Let's give not is set function. If it's not set, it's showing that register and login, and if it is set, means it will show logout. So let us log out now. Logged out successfully. So guys, now what I want to do is that I want to give index page is accessed without logged in. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to access this page only when it is logged in. Okay, so guys, now let's go and create the page for this. Let's create one authentication.php file. Let's open PHP and close PHP. Start the session _start and include your database, include function, dbcon.php file. So our database connection is called. And now guys, as simple as we set in never, like is set, it is set means then it should log in or log out. So same way you're going to check with if else condition. If anyone tries to access this authentication, it should show the message, please go back to access this page. So let us copy one statement to view this message. So I'm going to set a session variable status, which is session start. You can see over here, login to access this page, as simple, and go back to login page. If the user is set, the user is logged in, so how are you going to check that? We are going to check with the inside your login code. You have a variable called session user ID verified. Let's paste that, and now user ID is logged in. Okay, so but I want to see that user ID is allowed or not, and this token which we have shared, right, ID token string, this is available or not, because this token always gets expired within 1 hour. So let's get back to authentication and let's get that user ID is equal to session of user ID and then your token. So let's copy this and tell $ID token is equal to this. Now let's see to verify this, whether this is expired or not, because I'll just show you in the documentation. Create custom, you can see this token expires after 1 hour. So if in case you have logged in and left for after 1 hour and you come back again, that time it will be expired. So for that checking, we are going to again move it, verify Firebase ID token, and let's copy this again, copy and get back, paste, and inside this you are going to send your $ID token, or else copy this and paste over here, as simple. So echo working, you can tell. So right now we'll comment off if the ID is invalid token. So when this token gets expired, that time you need to show the message. So let's copy this and show the message. Let's comment this and give the status as token expired or invalid. Okay, login again, we will tell AGAIN again, and it should go to, when it is expired, it should go to logout.php. So when it's logout.php, we need to set another status because there is one already status. This is for logout button, but we want to, when token expires, that time we need another status. We'll tell expiry underscore status. Let's copy this status and go back to logout.php file. Let's move over here, use the if condition, a set function, $_session method of expiry status. If it is there, we'll tell the status as session expired, else you can mention this same thing, as simple. So for both cases it will work. Now let's save, and now guys, let us try to log in and see this authentication is working or not. So call this authentication file in all the files which you required, where all authentication should be done. So I want to access as this index page, and so first let us go and access in our index page. We are going to remove this session because session is already started in authentication file. So let's call authentication.php. So same spelling, authentication.php file. Let's copy this again and include in home.php file also. Let's remove the session because session is already started in authentication file. As simple. And now guys, let us go, let's refresh. You can see login to access this page. Let's click on home. You can see that login to access this page, and let's try to access home.php. That will send you login to access this page. So now let's guys login with @gmail.com 23456. Click login. Perfect, logged in successfully. And now let's try to access that index page. Cool, so you can access now index page also. But let's check with the login.php. We are already logged in. Okay, so let's check with login.php. You are already in login page. So instead of going to login page, we should say that you are already logged in. So let's go to login, and in case of register also, you need to do with the same thing. So you cannot register or login when you are already logged in. So let's go back, and we are on the authentication. Oops, we missed it. So let's paste this over here also. Let's save and go to our login.php file guys. At the top we need to give is set in the if condition, is set function $_ your session. So what session you have created while logging it. So when you're already logged in, user ID is activated. Okay, it's active. That time you need to tell go back to home page. So let's copy the same code and paste here. As simple. You mention here you are already logged in. Okay, let's save. As simple. And same code for the register.php file guys. So let's copy and go to register.php file. At the top of your page, just add this. Done. And you are already logged in. So let's get back, let's refresh, and we can see that it goes to home. You are already logged in. Let's try to access login page. Login, you're already logged in. Cool. So guys, now in this video that's it, and let's continue in next video guys about our how to fetch all these registered users in authentication Firebase. So guys, in this video that's it. Thank you for watching this video guys. Please subscribe, like and share.